Hello everyone, my name is Francis Pichet and I'm with Glen Panganiban right now, and I'm so happy that we're going to have an inspiring story for you. Glen, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me today.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're so welcome.
Awesome.
And obviously we're seeing something different right now, and it's is that you're in a wheelchair.
Yes.
And I know some people are like, whoa, that's like, it's pretty hard right away, and it's okay, right?
Yes.
Because I know you have a message about that. So what is it?
Well, you see, I'm here today to empower people. I want to let people know that anything's possible. So that will be the message we'll be speaking of today.
Yeah, and I know you said, I'm not here for sympathy, I'm here for inspiration.
Not at all.
That's why it is what it is. We're going to just be in our own truth right now. And I mean, a lot of people, and I didn't know the full entire story, so maybe you can tell the people how this thing happened.
Okay, well, this must have been February 6th, 1998. I was shot and paralyzed. My friend died beside me. We were at a house party, and we were all heading back. I guess there was 100 people at the house party. First, it was just supposed to be like 10 people, but once the high school kids knew that there was a party, one person told five told 10, and before you know it, there was 100 people. The mom called. I remember this. The mom called the party and said, like, I'm coming home, but I'm calling the cops because I can't escort everybody out there. So cops were coming there, and before you know it, everybody scattered slowly but surely out of the house. But people were like, I guess people were stealing stuff at that time because they didn't want to leave, from like video cameras or anything that you could steal back in the day, right? There was no DVD players, right? But when we were walking down the street, I guess there was just too many people drunk, and there was a Surrey side and a New West side, and before you know it, there was a little bit of an altercation, and they ran home and got their older brothers and their cars and their guns, and there was a big battle, and that's when I was shot and paralyzed, and my friend died beside me. So,
Jeez.
yeah.
Okay. And you were 15.
Yes, it was.
And so at that, do you remember like going to the hospital at all, or it's just like, how did you find out that you, like, basically you can never walk? Is that something that you knew right away, or was that progressive? And
yeah, well, the ambulance ride, I was coherent the whole time, so I remember all of it. It was rough. I remember waking up at the hospital one time, and I had some guests over there, and I guess they were talking about snowboarding. I was like, hey, don't worry, I'll be coming snowboarding this year with you guys. And the way he looked at me with the saddest face, he's like, bro, you're gonna have to take this one day at a time. And like, I totally know now at the age of 35, but when I was at the young age of 15, I didn't really realize what the word paralyzed meant, or the world I was going to be confined to in a wheelchair that I was going to have to figure out. And that was hard. Yeah.
so how was life during that time? Like, I mean, you're 15, you're still at high school, I'm assuming, right?
Oh yeah, yes. High school was the worst part of it all, because when you're the most popular kid, to getting injured and then wheeling down the hallways, and then like it feels like everybody's pointing at you while you're going up the beeping elevator, and that messed my mind up for 5+ years. That was hard.
And so did you lose some friends? Did you kept it all the same?
Oh, well, all my friends opened arms. They loved to have me back. We've lost a friend, right? So they give me extra love.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, because I know that we've talked before, and sometimes you say we perceive that when we're in our own world. I mean, we perceive, that's the thing, right? So we think that people are pointing at us and they don't entirely know the story. And I know you also said that it was not necessarily that the people were physically pointing at you. It's something you had in your mind, right?
It's definitely a mind thing. See, at first when I was in the mall, I was embarrassed to actually go out in public. So I'm in the mall and these little kids are like, oh, who's that? Mom, what's that? I thought they were pointing at me, but the kid was just actually pointing at the wheelchair, not knowing what a wheelchair is at 2 years old or whatever, right? And the kids at school, they're just like, oh, that's Glen. That's the guy, or whatever. They're not really laughing at me. So my family and friends were all loving me, so I was really really nurtured by them. And the people who I didn't know across the street, I figured like eventually I got over it by thinking, you know, if they don't know me or love me, that's okay too. Whatever, I'll move on.
Yeah, and you also had your darkest moment, I know too, right? Like, I mean, that was definitely something that nobody really want to have in their life. Like you said, you didn't even know what the world of paralyzed means, and you know, world of paralyzed is different. And so I know that you also overcame, which is really a beautiful news. But tell us a little bit more about, so the reason why I want to go in that direction of what type of situation and where you were, like maybe in your darkest moment, is because I think that we all have our darkest moments, and we just have to recognize that it could be anything. It could be losing someone you love, your child, your friend, being paralyzed, whatever that is, losing a limb. We all will have those moments. So I want to go in those moments so that maybe some of you can relate of how bad it is, and then see what helped you get out of it, which is the most important part, is how to get out of it, because we all have those setbacks and it's possible to thrive. So what really happened? Like, you were paralyzed, and then life was not always rosy, and so how did it go?
Yeah, good question. Well, after you get injured and you're on disability isn't really much while you're going through life. It's under $1,000, and rent eventually is expensive, and food, gas, bills, and before you know it, when your engine goes and you put that on the credit card, or you needed some food here or something there, that credit card bill starts adding up real quick. And when your credit cards get up to $30,000 and you can't pay those kind of payments, let alone cover the interest on that, it just domino effects, and it's a big snowball effect that you will never get out of. And you eventually just throw away your phone because you think of food before paying creditors. And yeah, you live in a home, but eventually when you can't pay for rent, when the landlords are banging at the door, you eventually have to go. And sure, you could live in your car for a bit, but after you can't pay for insurance or parking insurance, you can sell the car and live off that for a bit. At your friend's house maybe, couch surf. But that only lasts so long until you overstay your welcome. So the next step is go to the shelters, see what's out there, right? And you sleep on a cot for a bit until it gets overpacked, and eventually they're going to need more room, so they have the new people come in. And if you have nowhere else to go, I guess your best bet is go to the bridge maybe, and like burrow yourself in like a tick with like a hobo fire and cans of beans or something. That's what I kept on visualizing, and I seen the tents and the shopping carts under my bridges by my houses, and I never wanted to go there. That picture is burnt in my head, and I know I'm better than that. So I was like soul searching for a while, and I was looking. And it's funny, when you're looking as a student, the teacher will appear. So I got lucky, and my friend introduced me to a network marketing business, and I didn't make $1 million there. Everybody's like, did you make your $1 million from your business? And I'm like, no. But from the training and all the personal development throughout the late nights and waking up super early and working through my weekends, I became I got $1 million mindset from it. From talking to these millionaires, one mentor turned into 5 mentors. 5 mentors eventually turned into 10. And I just kept on getting guidance from them. And I was just soaking it up. I got addicted to learning. I don't do drugs. I got really, really skinny because I couldn't eat. And then before you know it, I was like, I don't ever want to go back to not having a meal.
Right.
So I made a choice.
I love that, because I think that for me, if I can summarize it and I can go through my mind as well, is that when we have those moments, we have that moment where it's really, really hard. And we can still visualize where that's going to lead us to keep that same mindset of being depressed, and which is completely normal. It is what it is, right? And now I think what happened to you is, okay, if things are starting to go this way for a while, here's where I'm going. And now I'm going to be outside my home. I'm going to sell my car. I'm going to go into shelters, and then I'm going to be under the bridge. No freaking way I'm going to be under the bridge. And then you knew you were better than that, so that still flame. And I know that some people, we know we're all amazing. We all have a story. We are amazing. We have that flame, and you knew it. And then you were searching for something that came to you, and you started to be in a better environment, that environment of a great mindset, which helped you to just, I'm assuming, take some new actions, right?
Yes. I also went to the government, and they helped me get a resume together. And then from the resume, I went to Walmart, and I was handing out resumes everywhere. But Walmart called me, and they're like, we have 3 door greeters, so I can't really accept you. It's like we're filled. And then I was somewhere else. I went to like Value Village for a bit, and they're like, well, we could maybe get you in at part-time, but you haven't really worked. You have no experience at the age of 14, 15. Like, I'm 35 now. It's hard to, you're handing out resumes that have 0 experience, right? So I went to Dollarama. I was like, come on. And they said, you seem like a really cool guy, a very nice guy, but you can't physically carry the weight requirements and lift up the boxes to be the sock boy above your head. So there's nothing here for you. So I really had to think outside the box, and that's when magic started happening. That's when I met my friend, and I went through the businesses as of the network marketing, and I went through the personal development, and I didn't make all my money from there, but learning about business wanted me to open up a cleaning company. So I had a couple friends and some partners, and we were cleaning for a while. And then when we were cleaning the insides, we did the carpet cleaning, the commercial, residential, and then they're like, can you do the outsides, like pressure wash outsides? So we were pressure washing outside, and they're like, well, can you mow our lawns? Like, our family wanted like lawns, so I started investing in a trailer, a truck, tons of tools. I got a riding lawnmower. So we're landscapers, and they're like, well, can you seal a driveway, which is pressure washing? So we're getting $5,000 jobs, and they're like, well, can you turf grass? So now I'm sodding, and I'm learning all these skills that I never knew you have. You don't know unless you try. You actually need to fail forward. Yeah, it's a failure, but you actually learn something from each failure. So before you know it, you have 1 cleaning company, 2 is a landscaping company. I went to school for my dealership license last year, so now I'm flipping cars. My friend offered me half of his business if I open up a dealership with him, because he's the master mechanic, but to have a dealership you need a guy in a suit to sell the cars. So I was like, no opportunities wasted in my head at this point, because I know what starving is. I know what not investing in yourself. I know what hungry is and not trying. So let's just wake up early, let's do the personal development, wear the suit, and get to where you need to get to. And because I've now got all of these things under my belt, I've got voted in to be a vice president in a corporation running multiple companies as of right now. So it's funny how one thing leads to another.
And what I like is that you accepted the challenge, because a lot of people would have probably said, oh, no, I can't do this. That's out of my realm. You said, there's a power wash. Yeah, I guess I'll do that, because you started cleaning, and then it just led to another, and you always accepted the challenge.
I told you, Value Village didn't see nothing in me. Walmart didn't want to hire me, let alone I could have ran the Dollarama and all of them. Do you see what I'm saying? People look at the wheelchair, they don't actually see what's inside of you. You can't teach drive. I'm very driven.
Did you get that? I think we got that. I felt your vibe.
I'm just letting you know, once you make a decision, there's no going back. I know what it is on the broke, and I've been broke, and I also like this side is trying. It's not even all about the money. I have the money. Now I just want to give back. See, when I go, as in when I do die, at the old age when I go, I can't take all my stuff. I'm not going to have a U-Haul full of Glen's stuff. I'm not going to be able to spend that money, so I might as well pick and choose on who I want to give it to. And that's the number 1 thing. It's called tithing. The more you give, the more you get. Everybody's like, oh, I want more. I was like, you got to give. They're like, but I don't have anything. They're like, well, that's because you're not giving enough somewhere. And it's not about money. Maybe it's your time.
Exactly, right?
Maybe it's me saving a life. See, my karma banks are overflowing on me right now.
And it was not always the case, right? Like you got it done. You had to do it. You had to do what you had to do. And I guess you were not living in your excuses.
Not at all then, because I already know I was dying. Nobody was coming.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. I just keep on seeing the tents, the shopping carts. What am I going to do? Start collecting shopping carts and boxes? Hell no. Mm-hmm. I'm wearing the suits now. I'm going to work like the rest of the real world.
And would you see that now everything that happened and that unfortunate event is actually a blessing in your life?
Yes, it is. Nobody wants to be shot and paralyzed. But since I've let go of all the anger, I'm in create mode. The people who injured me, I'm not mad no more. I've let that all go. You can't create when you're just angry. And if you're angry, you end up in jail and there's a big war and nobody wins. So I've already thought of that. I want to win. I want to be a winner. I want to live. I want to help others. I want to inspire the world. See, I believe I have a different ability. I have the ability to inspire.
And it would probably never have happened if this event didn't happen, right? Like now you've shown to a lot of people that you can be such in a rut mentally and physically, because sometimes it's just, and that's the biggest, I think it's the biggest obstacle is in your mind, but you have both. And you thrive on both sides. Is there any other thing, departing words that you'd like to give to the audience, or what's your new world? What are you creating? Where are we going to see you, Glen?
That's funny because it's one thing leads to another. And besides you hearing my whole story maybe on my book one day, I'm actually in the realm of coaching. Business is coming now from all this stuff, and one thing leads to another, and people keep asking me when they need my help. I could relate to people, right? So I'm working on many projects. I got like 47 projects right now. So
47. So one thing leads to another.
That's what I'm telling.
47.
Yes.
So we can reach you for coaching.
Oh, for sure.
And I'm sure we'll see you on stage. Inspiring millions.
For sure.
Little last word for us before we depart.
Okay, well, I just want to let everybody know out there, anything is possible. Doesn't matter what color you are, what disability you may think you have. If you believe, you can achieve. And that's my whole message here today, is that you can do anything. You just got to put your mind to it.
Thanks again for sharing at the Resilience Element Show. And we'll make sure that we'll follow you through your journey along the road.
Yes,
thank you. Thanks for being an amazing individual, Glen.
Thank you
so
guys.
much.
Appreciate this.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
See you guys.
See ya.